Many parents come into our offices and see how these examples work, nod their heads yes, and say they get it. They may even open a policy and then walk out and forget about it. Indeed, as long as they pay the premiums, they will help their child's financial future and be good stewards. Yet it's the committed, diligent, and persevering parent that makes a great steward. Just as you saw with the story of the parents and their two boys. Raising a child takes constant nurturing and readjusting. So too does creating wealth down the road. In the first example on compounding, we showed you how increasing a small amount in your contribution will pay off later. As your income grows, so too should your contributions. And many parents will look at us when we say this and say, we can't squeeze ourselves any tighter. We believe this is true for some, but for others, we have to say, are you sure? Think about it. If you just increased your contribution by $50 a month, how much is that? It's $1.67 a day. Have you tried to buy anything nowadays for $1.67? Even a medium drink at McDonald's costs more than that. Imagine what you could save if you stopped going for that afternoon latte at Starbucks for just 3 days a week. We're not saying give up your small luxuries altogether, but cut back and you will find your $50 easily. Again, each month's $50 extra contribution will equal an additional $250,000 of cash in your child's retirement fund. We understand this requires parents to be disciplined, and in today's world of having it all and having it now, that's hard to do. An article on thestreet.com claimed that 30% of Americans bringing home more than $150,000 a year have less than $1,000 put away, per a 2016 Go Banking Rates survey. What is happening here? Of course, we all want the shiny new SUVs, mansions in the right neighborhood, and to take glitzy vacations, but the cost of that is far more than simply the money you are shelling out. We know many families who fell into this trap. One in particular bought the big house, the new cars, the vacations at the beach in the summer, and then jetted off to Colorado to ski in the winter. They saw it as giving their kids the life they never had. The kids attended the best schools, had private lessons, and yet these parents had no savings for themselves or their kids' futures. Their plan was to sell the house and pay for college. Fast forward to when their two kids were ready to head off to college. The husband had lost his job 2 years prior and was still unemployed. He got hurt working in the house and became addicted to painkillers. The wife had to go back to work to earn a living, and they were forced to sell their home with a huge mortgage. They had to downsize everything from the cars to their lifestyle overall. What did all this mean? Well, they put themselves behind the 8 ball because they failed to plan. And if you fail to plan, as they say, you can plan to fail. The cost was far more than the sunk costs of the house and cars. They incurred the opportunity costs of being able to fund their child's education, the chance to buy a home, pay for a wedding, save for their own retirement, or the ability to control their financial future with a bank of capital or an and asset. The Child Millionaire mindset requires proper planning, diligence, and perseverance. But the beauty is, if you plan well, then the amount of persistence and determination is minimal compared to other financial vehicles. You can fix it and forget it to a degree with Child Millionaire. The only time you would need to intervene would be to increase your contributions and to teach your kids how to be their own bankers. But again, you must be diligent with your contributions. Just because you get that raise and want to buy a bigger house or more expensive car, make sure it doesn't happen at the expense of creating a bigger warehouse of capital. It can occur along with it if your windfall is large enough, but preparing for both your financial future and your child's must come first. It's a mindset change you must embrace to achieve your goals. Again, we go back to the family with 2 boys. They increased their contributions at the expense of a bigger house and many other shiny things. They still lived well, don't misunderstand, but they cut where they felt comfortable doing so. We asked the mom recently if she regrets that decision, and her response was, absolutely not. Do we wish we had a bigger home? Yes, but now we know our kids are starting from a better foundation than we had. And isn't that the point?